What is up, everyone? Renfail here, and welcome to today's beginner's guide to ship decorations, which is a brand new feature that came with the May 15th, 2024 update to Starfield. All of the ships that you come across now, whether they're purchased or found, stolen, / liberated, or built on your own, are going to have this decoration panel somewhere in the cockpit region. In the case of the shield breaker that I'm on, it's right next to the cargo hold. And this is the button that allows you to go into decoration mode for ships. We're going to be going into this in greater detail today. Now, the big thing about the ship decoration mode is this is mostly for those of you who want to be building your ships from scratch, because along with the decoration mode came the ability to install empty habitats throughout the ship. Now, we're in an existing ship that was already pre-designed. This is the shield breaker, which is a purchasable ship.
New?
And if we walk through this ship, we'll notice that this is already filled with all sorts of stuff. When the ships are pre-designed like this, and they've already got all the tables and chairs and sofas and wall hangings and everything else, you cannot modify the existing decorations, but you can add to them and add your own, and then you can modify the ones that you add, which is why I say this is mostly for those people who want to really dive into fleshing out existing ships to make them exactly the way they want to continue to modify them, or if you're going to be building a ship from scratch, because you'll be able to place those empty habitats and then decorate them as you see fit. And again, there are caveats to all of this, so we're going to be diving into that today. So without further ado, we're going to open this up and get into the build mode. If you haven't already done so, this is your first time to my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams happen between here and Twitch. There's also a Patreon and a Discord if you want to get involved with the community and get involved with my work as a sci-fi and fantasy author, copies of my latest books, so on and so forth. We are now in build mode here, and you can see in the top right we've got tabs that we can cycle through with the bumpers: decorations, displays, miscellaneous, crafting stations, furniture. And then if we scroll down through here throughout the various different things that we can place, like look at chairs as an example, we can also go through variations of the chairs and say what chairs do we want to place. And once we have chairs that we want to place, how do we then rotate them to get them placed where we want. And on the top left, you're going to see the build requirements, which are going to be crafting mats. Most things are going to require some type of crafting mat. You're going to notice that at the top left. Some things like Sarah's commencement gift would require the actual gift. Now, I've already placed this in the ship for the purposes of the example video today, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But you go through here, like I said, most things are going to have some sort of requirements, whether it's a crafting mat or some sort of an item that you're going to be given for a quest update. Letters, numbers, hand carts, and man, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. So there's a ton of options for those of you who want to really get in here and customize every last little aspect of your ship. So this is how you place things, is you go into the build mode and then you just wander through the ship and say, where do I want to place this cool weapon rack? Well, this is probably something that needs to go on a wall, so I'd probably need to find a wall that is suitable. This ship is already, let's see here. I also don't have any. So see how it snapped to right there? I moved close and immediately snapped to the wall. That's how this works. When you get something that's able to be placed, it'll snap into position, and then you can go ahead and place it accordingly. Now, in this case, I don't have the actual resource to place this, so I wouldn't be able to do so because I don't have the actual crafting mats. But that just shows you how it works. Now, what about existing things that you've already placed? So I talked about Sarah's commemorative gift. I gotta remember where I placed it. I think it's over here on the wall. Here it is. On the bottom right of the screen, you're gonna notice that it has a modify mode. When you go into modify mode, you're gonna get rid of the build screen, and then what you're gonna see is this marker in the center of your screen, which looks like, your targeting marker. But what it'll do is when you hover over something that's already been placed, it will allow you to then move it or delete it. In this case, we just want to move it. So we would click on it to highlight it, and then from here we can go ahead and say, oh, I want to place it, let's put it over here actually, out of the way above the bunk, and we can, boom, we've moved it over here. So it's as simple as doing that. Now again, the caveat here is that you cannot move things that were already placed. So things that came with the habitats or things that came with the existing ship cannot be moved around in the build mode in this way. If you wanted to move things that were already here in the ship, if they are an interactable object, you would need to back out of build mode and go over here and say, I want to take this Starlock board game, hold A to move it, and now I can, you know, move this thing around and place it on another surface if I want to, like so. And then we drop it down, and now it's there. So that's how you move the existing structures. And again, they have to be things that you can actually pick up, like the pot or the board game. You cannot move structures like the bed. And even if you go into the build mode, I would not be able to move that bed because I did not place that bed. So again, the decoration mode for ships that you buy or purchase or liberate somehow, that's how the decoration mode works for these ships. But what about something that you build from scratch? Or what if you have a ship where you have stripped out the existing modules and placed something different, and you want to go in there and do your own decorations? Well, we're going to go take a look at what that looks like right now, because I do have a ship that I own, which I went to earlier, and I stripped out one of the main habitat mods and put an empty one in, and that's the next part of what we're going to show you here. So to do this, we would go in here to the View and Modify Ships section, and we would go to the ship that I wanted to work with, which in this case is the Varun Litany. Now what I've done here is we can go into the ship builder here, and this module right here is called a Deimos all-in-one berth. That's one of the things I put in there. So what we can do here is if you take one of these things that you want to place, like we're going to say we're going to move that up, we're going to strip that out, and what we want to do is we want to place some sort of 2x1 berth in its place, but we want a 2x1 berth that is empty. So this is something that came with the patch that is new. So if you go here to add something, we're going to go over to the habitat tab. This is what we're looking for here, and from here we can start looking at in this case that was a 2x1, so we would want to go to the 2x1 structure, and then we would start going through the variants here, and we got a Deimos Armory 2x1, Captain's Quarters 2x1, Core 2x1, 2x1, 2x1. What we're looking for is the one that says empty. There's a Deimos Armory empty times 2x1, Computer Core empty 2 times 1, Captain's Quarters empty 2 times 1. Let's go ahead and actually went too far. Let me go back to that. Let's go Captain's Quarters. Actually, let's go Control Station empty 2 to 1. We're gonna pick this module now, and we're gonna go ahead and move it in here. And then this is always fun. We're gonna place it on the ship like so. We've now done that. We're gonna take this, and we're going to delete it, and we're going to go ahead and exit here. We're going to accept the modification. I want to make this my home ship. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and go board this ship and see what one of these empty modules looks like. Now again, I'm not building a ship from scratch for the purposes of this video, but if you were building something completely from scratch, this is essentially what you're going to be looking at, is a bunch of empty habitats, assuming you choose the empty habitats. Again, you don't have to choose empty habitats. You could choose habitats that already have things placed in their coordinate. But we chose to place an empty one. So here we have a brand new empty habitat module in the ship. So there's nothing here. Now, in some cases, when you place one of these empty habitats, they might have a couple of little cosmetic things in the corners and stuff. But for the most part,
stuck in the same place.
They're going to be completely empty like so. You're going to need to do the same thing we did earlier. You're going to go in here and you're going to look for the... there it is, right there. You're looking for the Decorate module. Once we do that, we can come in here and then we can go back into build mode. And now we have this brand new space that we have, and we could go through and say, okay, I want to start placing things. So this is, I think we said this was a control module. So I would probably want to look for, I'm going through here, I don't want decorations, I don't want displays. We could do like, these are more like crafting things. So let's go down through here and look at furniture. Wooden desk. Like, let's say I want desks in here. We'd go through and pick the desk that I want. I don't like that one. That's too big. That's definitely too big. That might work. And we would say this, and we would put it over here and say if I had the resources, that I would be able to place it down accordingly right here. And then we would move on to place the next thing and say, okay, well now I want to place a wall shelf. And we can go through the variants of wall shelves that we have. And this is something where it would boom, snap onto the wall like so. Remember that it just hovers and moves around and stuff until you get into the place where you want it. And then you can snap it to like so, or you want to put a refrigerator, and there's different types of, ways that you can place this. We rotate it and figure out where we want it and snap it to once we've got it where we want it completely placed. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. But you can go through and place all these different things anywhere in this habitat that you want. And this is something where if you wanted to, because this is a ship that we actually, this is a ship that we liberated. So if we wanted to completely customize this ship from scratch, we would need to exit out of here, and we would go back into the ship modification
While we're
mode.
here, it wouldn't hurt if we checked in at the lodge.
And hang on, I'm gonna run over here and show you what this looks like. Basically, you would replace every module that the ship came with.
Trade authorities always buy.
And
sure,
you would replace them with the empty ones. So in this case, I went into the shipbuilder mode here, and I just said, okay, that was an existing 2x1 module, and I said I want to go over here and, pick a new module. Again, you have to go through the modules and look for the ones that say empty. One of the caveats I think we've noticed with this edition is that I don't think there's any of the 1x1s that come empty. It's only the 2x1s or larger that come with an empty variant. So you'll just need to go through here and look. And there's different variants for different things. So we have an empty armor variant, a computer core variant, a captain's quarters variant, a control station variant, an infirmary variant, living quarters variant, science lab variant, workshop variant, and then we would go back to the ones which are already existing and already have things within them. So if we place the all-in-one berth here, it would place that on the ship, and it would already have things in it which you cannot move because they are already placed. So that's the caveat to this system. And again, if you're someone who wants to come in and build something completely from scratch, you totally can. I don't get into shipbuilding that much, so I haven't actually gone through and built something completely from scratch. But I know the people who are really into shipbuilding, the decoration mode is a big boon, because now you really can build it completely from scratch, because you can start with empty modules and completely build it from the ground layer up. Otherwise, if you're someone like me who just likes to modify the existing ships, we could take something like this and say, okay, I don't like the core modules, I want to switch those out for empty modules, and then adjust those accordingly. And then, of course, if we want to, I'm gonna go back to my shield breaker here.
Sure, how about it?
Choose this as my home ship, and again, going here, making this my home ship, going back out, and then saying, I want to go ahead and just go in here and further customize this ship with little things. Like if I wanted to pick a room that was my bunk and say this is my bunk space, I would then customize that bunk space with things like, as an example, the commemorative award that we placed on the wall earlier that Sarah gave us. If I wanted to say that that was my bunk, we placed that there accordingly. But of course, if I had captain's quarters and I wanted to say, okay, I'm assigning these as my captain's quarters, which actually I think there are somewhere in here. I haven't ran around this ship in a while, but I know somewhere in here there are some more tucked away corners that may or may not be my captain's quarters. But you get the drift. You get what I'm talking about. That is, in a nutshell, everybody, the new decoration mode for Starfield. Just don't forget, you're looking for this panel right here. If you found that useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams between here and Twitch. There's Patreon and a Discord. Don't forget you can get copies of my latest books. Get involved with my sci-fi stuff over there. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Stay safe. Happy gaming.